Malawi became a fully independent member from the British on July 6, 59 years ago in 1964, India became a diplomatic ally same year. So diplomatic relations between Malawi and India are as old as the independence of Malawi, 59 years. But what has been the benefit? I am Leah Malikano. In this edition of exclusive interview on Zodiac, I bring you India High Commissioner to Malawi, Subbiah Gopalakrishnan. Welcome, Your Excellency, to the program.
Thank you very much, Madam. In fact, I'm delighted to be a guest today.
Thank you so much. I know that you have been in office for about 2 years now, but how do you summarize the relations between the two countries?
So, India and Malawi shares a very cordial and friendly relations, in fact, a historical relations. India was one of the first countries to establish diplomatic relations soon after the independence of Malawi in 1964. But that doesn't mean that the India-Malawi relationship is just 15 years old. We have a 130 years of relationship. Our relationship goes back to the British period.
Mm-hmm. Maybe how have you seen the relationship in terms of how you have been working with Malawi government for the past 59 years?
See, Malawi has been an important partner of India. We have a very cordial relationship reinforced by the people-to-people, strong people-to-people ties. Malawi has been always a good friend of India. We have been cooperating not only on the regional level but also at the international level. We share a common and identical views in many areas, including regional, international and multilateral issues.
So when we look at Indians, they have been here in Malawi way back in Nyasaland days and before. Maybe how do you estimate the population of Indians in Malawi?
I'm happy that you asked this question. Our relationship in fact goes to the period of Nyasaland. In fact, there are few interesting facts I would like to tell you. The first martyrs of the Nyasaland were Indian soldiers. 7 Indian soldiers were killed while on their duty in Zomba when fighting against the slavery system.
Wow, in the southern part of Malawi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the Indian soldiers under the British were instrumental in bringing the slavery system in the Nyasaland. When you go to the forts in Mangochi, Palombe, Zomba, those are all built by Indian soldiers. So we have a very strong relationship with Malawi. But from 1964, when we formally established diplomatic relations, we have been cooperating in many areas. We have been assisting Malawi in achieving its socio-economic development goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also know that the Indians also came in Malawi to construct a railway, and now it is a trade. I wanted you to tell us maybe an estimation of how many Indians do you know that are here in Malawi currently?
See, when the railways was established in Malawi, there were few Indians. The number would be less than 100 came. But with the development of railways, there were many tradesmen from India came. They settled here. Many of them are third or fourth generation people. They are actually Malawians, more of Malawians than Indians. Today, the number has actually increased. The Indian residents, the Indian nationalities, the Indian passport holders number has actually increased. Today, our estimation is close to 7,000. 7,000. 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
I know you are wondering why the number is less.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell the reason for that. The Indians and the Indian origin people's establishments, the shops, small trading establishments are mostly focused or mostly dominated in the cities. So when you go to the cities, you see a lot of Indian owned or Indian origin owned shops here. So you tend to have a perception that there are a lot of Indians here, but actually the number is less.
But out of the 7,000, maybe how many they have just come here to stay, and how many have come here just for trade?
The 7,000, the number I have mentioned is about the Indian passport holders. Besides this, we also have about 3 to 4,000 Malawians of Indian origin.
They have dual citizenship.
Yeah, they are of Malawian citizens.
All right, and maybe how do you explain the nature of the businesses that these Indians are doing here in Malawi?
See, I will be very frank to tell. See, like Malawians, Indians are very peace-loving, very law-abiding people. So whatever they do here, they do with a very consciousness. And with you, all 5 fingers are not same. So there are few people who may not be complying to the institutional rules and regulations, but you cannot profile the entire population as bad. But most of them, 99% of the people, whether Indian origin or Indian passport holders, are very law abiding. You go to any jail in Malawi, you will see very few Indians there. So that is one good example for the law abiding nature of Indian or Indian origin people.
Okay, so we would like maybe to hear it from you, like the kind of businesses that these Indians are doing, like here in Malawi. We know that Indians is much into agriculture, so we just wanted to understand maybe what kind of businesses are these Indians doing here in Malawi.
See, we have close to US$ 500 million worth of Indian investment, which includes the Indian origin people's investment here. We cannot specifically say that the investment is in one area. It has been spread out all over. It ranges from agriculture, mining, small trading, and big industries, tea plantation. So it varies, but the most of the Indian origin people are engaged in small trading.
Small trading.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. India is a population of about 1.43 billion people, and you overtook China this year.
Yeah.
How has India used its population to aid economic growth?
We have recently taken over China. Today we are the largest populated country in the world. The interesting fact and the population dividend of the growth of our population is 61% of our population is working population, which means the age between 15 and 60. So this population will continue for another 5 decades, which will put us to drive the economy of the world.
How?
Today, you see, we are the 5th largest economy. We have recently taken over in the UK. In 2030, we are expecting that we will be taking over Germany and Japan, and we will become 3rd largest economy in the world. Today, we are 3.1 trillion economy. We are expecting to become 7.1 trillion economy by 2030.
How excited are you that you have taken over from
Of course,
China?
I am excited to being a citizen of a 3rd largest or 5th largest economy. It is happy, and we strongly believe in our ancient philosophy of Vasudeva Kudumbakam, which means world is one family. See, the growth of India is not just a growth of India. It's a growth of the global south. India always speaks for the global south. We don't Even when we go to the international fora, we don't talk for only ourselves. We talk for others. So our growth is world's growth.
So at 7.2%, India was one of the fastest growing major economies. In fact, the second highest among G20
Yes.
countries. Maybe what do you make out of this?
As I told, we are law abiding, we are very hard working people. And in fact, I will give you a very interesting fact that during COVID, we were the only country growing more than 5% among the major economy. We are continue to grow at 7% more for the last few years. During COVID, our export were close to 700 billion. So we had taken COVID as a challenge to push our economy and push the engine forward.
Maybe how did you do that? We may wish to learn. How did you achieve that as a country?
So I'll give you a small example. I like to give the anecdotes and examples. When the COVID hit, we were sort of masks, gloves, another thing. But within 2 months of time, we become the largest producers of masks and gloves in the world. We have the infrastructure. We need to align those according to the needs of the time.
So when we look at Malawi has the population of about 20 million people, and it is seriously struggling with socio-economic development. Of course, the export base is seriously also struggling. Maybe how do you look at Malawi, or maybe how based can Malawi use also its population to ensure that it's growing economically?
Malawi has a advantage of working population here. I think Malawi needs to focus on the economic growth. The government has been taking very positive steps in the last few years. I think I am hopeful that Malawi will get out of the tag of developing country or poor country soon.
We want a few lessons that we can learn as a country from India.
See, our growth started with small industries, and it's all homegrown. So we had focused more on the small and medium enterprises, which became later grown into a larger manufacturing units. But also you also need to have develop the human resource of the people, particularly education. Today we have the largest number of engineers in the world. Today we have the largest number of doctors in the world. So education is an important tool for any country to grow.
Okay, if you compare the two countries, where are we getting wrong as a country?
I will not say that Malawi is getting wrong. We also started like what Malawi started. Just because the population, our population more.
But here we are today, and there you are today.
See, you also need to look at the resources you have. India is a big country compared to Malawi. It's a subcontinent. You have a lot of resources in India, and the human resource has actually facilitated to make the available resources to make the country powerful.
So talking about relations between the two countries, what would you say have been the mutual gains in the diplomatic ties?
See, we have been having good or excellent relationship with Malawi. We have been cooperating with many areas. You name any areas, we have a MOU or a kind of informal arrangement with Malawi, and we work together to enhance those areas where we have an agreement, and also we try to improve those areas where we don't have a formal agreement. But both countries we are working together.
Maybe what are those specific cooperation areas that you are working with Malawi government?
You can take agriculture, trade, mining, health, energy. So these are the areas which we have formal agreements. For example, mining, we have a joint we have a joint working group on mining. The meeting, we had a meeting 3-4 years back. The third meeting we are looking at, we are working on dates. I think that will give a flip, and that meeting will help us to work together. And as I always say that mining is a very important area for any country, but one has to be very careful. You need to have a proper legal framework, you need to have regulatory authority before allowing others to come in. That's for including for India, we do that, we follow that. So we will be looking at some opportunities in the area of mining, not just one side benefit, it will should be mutual benefit. We will be working together. Let's see.
Like I earlier mentioned that Malawi is really struggling in terms of its exports. So you have mentioned a very important area that you are working with Malawi government in agriculture. Maybe how are you enhancing this to ensure that Malawi do more exports?
If you look at the exports from Malawi to India the last 3-4 years, there has been a dramatic change. In 2021, we signed an agreement with Malawi on importing of pigeon peas to India, 50,000 metric ton per year for 5 years. Before 2021, the balance of trade used to be in favor of us very heavily. For example, you see that Indian exports to Malawi 85%, Malawi's export to India used to be 15%. I am putting at a maximum. But after signing this, actually it has changed the trade balance. It's now 60-40. In 22, Malawi exported $107 million worth pigeon peas and soya to India. After the cyclone Freddy, we have waived off the quota for Malawi. Now Malawi has an opportunity to export unlimited amount of pigeon peas. So hopefully this 60-40 could reverse, 60% from Malawi and 40% from India. I am saying 40% from India because of the shortage of forex. Shortage of forex has actually reduced imports from India.
So when you look at the business opportunities that are there in India, maybe what more business opportunities are there in India apart from pigeon peas that Malawi can be able to export goods to India?
See, you just look at our size of the population. You produce anything, we will consume.
Anything?
Yes. That's why I am saying this. You just look at the population. It's 140 crore, 140 million. So you produce anything, we will consume.
Maybe apart from the export issue, what else is Malawi benefiting from India?
See, the important aspect of the Malawi-India partnership is capacity building program. Government of India offers close to 150 slots of training program for Malawi every year, which ranges from 2 weeks to 2 years courses. You name any area, it's there and the training. The important and very interesting thing about this training thing is we don't have very strict criteria for the training opportunities. You need to have good English speaking people because the trainings will be in English, and there is an age criteria 45. That's the only criteria we have. I will tell you again a small example. We had trained close to 20 Malawian women, illiterate women. They can't even read, write. They were taken to India. They were imparted training on solar energy for 6 months. They returned as a solar engineers. These 20 people were taken from Salima, Dowa and Dedsa. They were sent in groups. After coming from there, they have at least each of these people have assembled 50 to 60 households with solar lights. They have also lightened some schools in their area. People now work late in the evening. They use their sewing machines and using that thing. So this very, I don't think any country in the world will do such training program.
Apart from education, what else?
No, education also we also provide about 20 scholarship, fully funded scholarship for Malawian students to study at the premier institutes in India. Beside this, we also run a e-education program in Malawi, and the first phase about 2000 Malawians benefited. The second phase, which started 2 years back, close to 1,600 Malawian students have enrolled into study, which ranges from bachelor's to PhD.
All right, talking of the benefits that are there between the two countries, I would like to learn from you, how is Malawi also benefiting from India's duty-free tariff preference scheme for least developed countries?
Yeah. See, India has given duty-free duty tariff preference facility for Malawi, under which most of the items are duty free. Recently, Malawi has taken up macadamia for export of macadamia for duty free. This has been discussed at both sides, so we are looking at it positively. Hopefully, we will have a positive answer soon.
Maybe one of the common benefit that every Malawian here knows is in the healthy sector. Like Malawians go to India to seek for medical treatment, what have you. Maybe have you ever thought of maybe bringing such services here in Malawi so that Malawians can access those services right here in Malawi?
In the field of health, Government of India and Government of Malawi have a formal agreement. We have an MOU on health, under which we also have a joint working group which meets regularly. So far we have had 2 meetings. We are working on the 3rd meeting, which discusses various aspects of the cooperation between 2 countries in the field of health, which includes sharing the expertise of specialists from both countries. In fact, we have very strong development partnership with Malawi in the field of health. The Government of India regularly provides medicines to Malawi. In fact, if you see the last 5 to 6 months, we have provided close to 200 tons of medicines, and we have also assured to provide a cancer treating machine for which the bunkers are being made. I went along with the Honorable Minister of Health to supervise that. The work is going.
The cancer center.
Yes, the work is progressing. So soon we will have that machines in Lilongwe, so which will also cater for at least 100 people a day. That's a state of art of machine which will treat close to 100 people every day. And on your question on the people going to India, there are we issue close to 1000 visas, medical visas, which include an attendant. So if you see that close to 400 to 500 patients travel to India, both
that's every year.
Every year. So both on the insurance sponsored people and also government sponsored people, mostly insurance sponsored people. Government of Malawi is very keen in setting up medical facilities in Malawi. Honorable Minister of Health is traveling next week to India. She will be exploring the possibilities to setting up the hospital or pharmaceutical units in Malawi with the help of Indian investors.
400 people every year. It's quite a huge number. Maybe these are specialist medical facilities that Malawians are treated in India. Can you just mention the commonest problems that maybe Malawians are treated in India?
So most of the cases are serious illness, which ranges from cancer to other serious illnesses, which India has a specialist, and today India is one of the sought after medical tourism country. Most of the Malawians used to go to South Africa. So last few years the trend has changed. You spend less than half of the amount you spend in South Africa, including the airfare. You are getting a state of art treatment in India. So people have preferred now to travel to India for medical purpose.
Yeah, I will still remain on the figure now, 400. It's quite huge. I will still maintain that. It's if the idea of India, it is to support the healthy needs of Malawians. Why can't you bring such facilities right here in Malawi for Malawians to benefit from such facilities right here in the country?
But 400, the number 400 is not much compared to 20 million population. But still, I feel, having lived here in Malawi for the last 2.5 years, I still feel that Malawi needs a good health facility. Malawi has passed the public-private partnership law 2 years back. So after that, there has been a lot of keenness from the Indian investors to come here. So they have been discussing with the government of Malawi. Soon I think you will have a hospital owned by Malawi and run by Indians. So in this context, I also want to say something. It was very unfortunate thing, very unfortunate. 2 days back, I was asked a question on the same thing. So unfortunately, my reply was misconstrued and it was misquoted. I mentioned that Malawi has a kind of a reluctance in bringing foreign investment into Malawi, but I said that I agree with the policy of Malawi, because any country would look at the implications, both positive and negative implications, when a foreign investor comes into a country. So Malawi also looks at that point of view, I suggested after the passing of public private partnership, there is a lot of interest. So soon Malawi will have a Indian hospital or Malawian hospital run by Indians. But I was misquoted. It was really a disappointment for me. India and Malawi have a very cordial relationship, and we believe in our partners. So it was unnecessary thing. But anyway, our leadership, Malawian leadership, understand that India has no agenda. We have only goodwill for in Malawi.
So what places have you visited in Malawi after you took office as Indian envoy to Malawi in March 2021?
I'll tell you one thing before answering the question. As a diplomat, I have done postings around the world. This is the first time in our postings we quickly settle down. So that shows the warmthness of the country. Myself, my family settled down within 3 months time. In other places it takes 6 months to 1 year to settle down. It's so hard. So we are here, it's like a home. The culture, we have a similarity. The food, you have a similarity. Maybe we also have a sizable Indian population here, but most of my interactions are with the Malawian officials and politicians. So we quickly settle down. That shows how much I'm enjoying. We also travel as a family and also as an individual. I travel around the country. I've been to north, south, central regions. Before I leave this country, I want to go to Nika.
Nika.
Yeah.
So in those places that you have visited, which places do you like most?
We like the beaches here. Mostly we go to Chinteche. Chinteche, Katabe. There are white sand beaches, and also Livande. We like.
Before your deployment to Malawi, High Commissioner, you served in embassies of India in Jordan, Kathmandu, Lebanon, and the US. What was your major preoccupation there?
In Lebanon, I was head of the human resources and also head of the commerce wing. In Kathmandu, I was the political officer who was in charge for the bilateral relationship. In Washington, I was a political counselor, and also I was in charge for the human resource development.
Our GDP is around 1.7% as a nation. We are perpetually engaged in a conversation around what magic wand we can use to turn the fortunes around tourism, mining, it and other sectors that you have mentioned here. What is your view of Malawi 2063 development agenda?
I think Malawi is on its track to achieve the Malawi 2063 goals. As it's very unfortunate that COVID and Malawi also gets frequent cyclones, so it actually drags back the country's progress. But I'm very confident that Malawi will achieve its goals, maybe before its target.
Maybe what needs to be done, or what advice do you have to Malawi government in order to achieve Malawi 2063?
Maybe with Malawi needs to bring more investments, both domestically and also from foreign investments, particularly in the field of energy. For any investor to come, you need an uninterrupted power. So Malawi lacks energy power, but I hearing that government is working on that. So hopefully soon Malawi will achieve this one. Once you get uninterrupted power, people will come here, because Malawi is one of the peaceful countries in the region, which is one of the important criteria for any investors. So hopefully Malawi will move forward.
You mentioned that the issue of forex as one of some of the challenges that you have reduced your exports into in the country. Maybe what can Malawi do to improve the challenge at hand of forex?
See, forex scarcity is not just a Malawi's issue. Today, after COVID, many small economies, even large economy has suffered, but small economy has suffered more. So, Malawi is not an exceptional thing, but I think IMF will provide extended credit facility soon. Hopefully, Malawi will get out of this crisis.
Right. Until recently, India, Britain, and the US were actively involved with Africa, but now Russia, China, and others are showing growing interest. What is your view of all this?
As I told, we have no agenda either in Malawi or in Africa, but we are continue to assist Malawi or Africa. In last 20 years, government of India has provided close to 395 US dollar 395 million soft loan to Malawi, and we have executed projects close to US dollar 180 million, which includes a sugar factory in Salima, 3 fuel storage facilities in Blantyre, Muzuzu, Lilongwe. We have also set up dal processing, lentil processing centers in 2 places. We have also set up cotton ginneries in 3 places in Malawi. Besides that, on grant, we have also set up a vocational business incubator center in Ponela, which has a facility to train people in cassava flour making, tomato ketchup making, mango processing, and also we have a facility of polishing, cutting and polishing of semi-precious stones. Besides briquette making, compost making facilities there, and we have also set up a skill apparel center in Thondwe with 25 industrial sewing machines, and we have also trained about 50 or 25 30 Malawians in the master trainers.
Maybe as we conclude our discussion today, what are some of the challenges that you can point out as India that you are facing here in Malawi as you are working with the current government?
So I mentioned earlier, we have a very excellent relationship with Malawi. So as a diplomat, I don't see any issues with the government of Malawi. The politicians, the officials, they are all very cooperative. And they are very keen and to enhance our relationship.
India is a member of BRICS. What is your view of the war in Ukraine and now Gaza?
See, India believes in peace and stability. We encourage the parties involved to engage with each other constructively to bring peace at the earliest. On Gaza, we strongly condemn terrorism in any form. As at the same time, we have a principled stand on Palestine. We support the two-nation policy.
Yeah, moving forward, coming back 59 years is just a lot. What should Malawians still expect from the bilateral relationship that is there between India and Malawi? What more should we expect in future?
See, next year we will be celebrating 60th anniversary for establishment of diplomatic ties. We as a partner both have to learn from each other. When I say we'll both have to learn from each other, in India, among the leadership, top leadership, they regard Malawi very highly on the peaceful democratic transition. This is the one thing that which not just India, the entire world has to learn from Malawi. But going to the bilateral cooperation, we will be trying to enhance the cooperation and step up in other areas which have left out so far. So we will try to expand our cooperation all the areas possible.
Anything else that you wish to touch
Since you have asked the multilateral issues, I would like to mention that India is the current chair of G20. In last month we held the G20 summit in New Delhi on a consistent effort of our Prime Minister and the Government of India. G20 has accepted African Union as the permanent member of G20. It happened because of the personal effort of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi.
All right, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for giving us an opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That was Excellency Gopalakrishnan talking to us in our today's edition of exclusive interview here on Zodiac. And today you were with me, Leah Malikano. Goodbye.